So in the today's session, we'll like to have basically a basic idea about what is the JEE, right, or NEET, and why those exams are important, and how those exams are slightly different from what we usually do, that is the board exams, right? And what are the benefits of preparing those exams, how we can prepare those exams, and the mistakes, the common mistakes that we do usually while preparing for those exams, right? How we can overcome those mistakes. So everything, every detail we'll try to cover in today's session. And also I would like to keep it brief, right, so that we can finish it up in time. And I have muted all of you, and for those who are having any doubts, you can just raise your hands. You can go to the participant uh, window, right, and you can raise your hand. So whatever the doubts you are having, I will unmute you. You can ask your doubts, right? So when there will be doubts, so you can ask it out once the presentation is over. You can have, and you can jot down your doubts, and we can discuss it at the end, right? But now let us try to begin with what we have to do today, right? So first of all of us know that basically we have so many exams, right? So there are so many exams that we are having. So we are a little confused, right? Which exam to prepare for, right? So for example, we have IIT mains, right? This is the first exam, right, that you have heard of. Now we have advanced also. Are these different? IIT JEE main and advanced, do they require different approach, right? We have exam for VIT, we have exam for BitSet, Moneypine, and also we cannot forget the NEET exam, right? So first of all, you have to, because since you have already chosen the science stream, so among them you have to choose for the NEET, right? Or then you have to choose for the exam, which of the exams you will have to take, right? For example, JEE or the engineering ones, right? So first thing is to select the exam, right? Which exam you have to opt for. Now, if we talk about, we'll be more focusing on the JEE part in this session, right? Why JEE is important and why you should select and why you should go for it, right? Now, let me tell you that if you are worried about so many exams, you need not, right? Because if you are preparing for the exams such as IIT JEE, so it itself prepares you for many exams, right? You need not prepare separately for BitSet. You need not prepare separately for other exams, right? You might be having for the VIT else, and there are so many exams for private colleges, right? So you don't have to prepare separately. If you prepare well for IIT JEE, then all the exams are taken care of, right? But you have to prepare well for IIT JEE. And what are the things that are involved in the preparation? We'll also try to discuss those things, right? So now once we have this, that which exam you should opt for, right? Now we'll just, as I said, we'll be focusing more on the JEE part. So now once you have done this, so first of all, now we'll be discussing why we have to select the JEE, right? Why we have to opt for it. What are the advantages for this? Now we'll discuss all the advantages one by one, right? So now what we can do here is, first of all, just try to see, you know that this is one of the toughest exams that we are having in the undergraduate level, not only in India, but in the world, right? So this is one of the toughest entrance examinations in Asia. In the undergraduate level, it is one of the toughest in the entire world, right? So if you love challenges, this is the exam for you. This is the first thing that you should think of. Then, of course, as you can see, it secures your admission in top engineering colleges in India. If you want to be a good engineer, then of course you'll have to be in the top engineering colleges, right? Having good rankings. So this is the importance of JEE. And for example, if you're not preparing for JEE, then securing your admission in these colleges might be difficult, right? So it secures your career as well. It gives a very well settled life, right? So this is one of the more major reasons why we do that. Now, again, as I have discussed earlier, once you are ready for the toughest, you do great in other exams like BitSet, VIT, or WebJEE. This is for the West Bengal JEE, and there are other exams for the states as well, right? So if you are not from Delhi, you can of course give the other exams of the other states. They have their own quota. So if you are preparing well for the toughest exam, then all these colleges you can do very well. And mind this, that BitSet and all these colleges are very, very good, right? So see, if you're preparing for the JEE, these exams will seem to be comparatively easier if you talk about in comparison to IIT JEE, right? So this will give you an added advantage to other students. So this is what you have to think of. For example, if you have to prepare for something, right? So what will you do is, you will, in the homework, let us say the level of the exam is here. So you'll have to prepare a level above, right? So that this level seems to be comparatively easy, right? So this is the way by which we do the things. For example, most of you might be following cricket, right? IPL चल रहा है अभी, सब लोग देख ही रहे होंगे. So when the batsman practice with the ball, right, with the machine, then usually if he has to practice, then the speed of the bowling, right, it is more than 160 kilometers per hour, right? So they have to prepare for tough and the quick bowls. So that is how we prepare in the nets, right? And that is how we prepare in the homework. So we'll have to prepare a level above what is the actual exam. So if you are preparing for JEE, then these exams, which are also one of the toughest, bit set, right? So these exams will be comparatively easy. So that is the importance of JEE, right? This will make you feel comfortable while you are sitting for the bit set exam. Now, this is a very important part, that is, it develops an individual thought process, which is very, very important, right? It makes you think logically, whatever the process, and not only in the, we are not here talking about just the academics, right? Here, it makes you think logically in the sense that whatever the decisions you are taking in your life, right, you'll try to think it in a rational way, right? You will try to calculate it. You will try to have a calculative risk. You will try to have, for example, if you are preparing for anything, not only these exams, you are preparing for anything, you will calculate each and everything. These are the resources that I am having, right? And here I have to reach. So all these things, all these calculations, it will really help you to mind an individual thought process, which is very, very important, not only for the exam point of view, but basically from the entire life perspective from a point of view, right? And it also will teach you to do things in a quick way, right? You have limited amount of time in which you have to prepare, right? And in that limited amount of time, you have to give your best, right? So under the pressure conditions, it will make you think and it will make you achieve great things, which is really required not only in the exams, but in the life as well, right? Now, again, this is beyond what we are talking about the graduation level. Based on only conceptual knowledge, which provides you an extra edge over future exams like SCAT and GMAT. For example, if you are preparing, many students after BTech in the engineering, they go for the MBA, right? Or they give the CAT exam, they give GMAT exam, and they go for IIMs, right? So in that case, you will definitely have an advantage over the rest of the students, right? Because you already have that analytical mind to think about the questions which are asking CAT for the quants, right? So all these things are very, very important. They will definitely give you an extra edge because you have already prepared for these 2 or 3 years for the JEE, and also you have spent 4 years in your BTech, right? Those 4 years will make you learn a lot of things, lots and lots of things. So that will definitely give you the advantage over this future exams, which are not. So this is going beyond the BTech also, right? So this is the importance of JEE. Now, understand, again, as we have discussed this part in brief, that if you don't intend to go into IITs or BEATs or NITs, or you have plans to go abroad also, right? JEE preparation you undergo will prepare you to tackle 4 years of engineering. For example, if you are preparing to go abroad, right, there are many, many universities in which you can do your graduation from abroad. And believe me, the exam for IIT is far tougher than the exams are conducted there, right? So it will definitely give you an extra advantage if you are preparing for JEE and you fill up forms for the rest of the some very good colleges in the world, right, which are having very higher ranking. So ranking process is really is a complex one, right? It depends upon many things. But if you talk about the exam, the toughness level of the exam, the IIT exam for the undergraduate level is really high, right? So that level is really high if you compare even for the very good universities outside. So in that case, if you're preparing for to go abroad for the graduation, then also this exam is very, very fruitful for you, right? So see the importance of this exam, right? It is one of the toughest, so that will give you an edge in the other exams also. It will create a rational thought process in you, and not only BTech, it will be helping you in CAT and GMAT, which is beyond BTech, right? Which will be in building up career after BTech actually. And even if you're not preparing for, or you don't intend to go into IITs or any colleges in India, that will really help you this exam to crack the exams which are happening abroad for the graduation, right? So this is the importance of JEE. Now, as you can see, these are the distinguished alumni for the JEE. So IIT, right? This has been passed out from IIT. So these are many, few of them, right? Which are very popular, right? Sundar Pichai, all of you know, right? Naren Mutri, Infosys, Raghuram Rajan, one of the greatest economists that India has produced, right? He was one of the people who predicted the recession of 2008, right? One of the very few people. It is one of his greatest achievements, right? Sachin Bansal and Binny Bansal, you know, the Flipkart. Deependra Goyal, you know, Zomato. You have been ordering from Zomato time and again, right? So these people are touching your day-to-day life, right? So that is what the opportunity you can also get to touch the day-to-day life, right? You can start anything from the scratch and then you can build up in something huge. Of course, that will take time, right? So these are one of the few examples which you can look up to, right? And these are very, very successful people. And there are so many, there are numerous, right? There are uncountable number of people. Now, after this, we will come to a very interesting part because there is a confusion many times that IIT JEE versus board exams, right? So if I am preparing for IIT JEE, will it affect my board exams? Are two exams completely different, right? So do I need to study NCERT also if I'm preparing for IIT JEE? So if I'm preparing for IIT JEE, then separately do I have to need, is there any need to study the NCERT, right? So all these things are very, very important. And what is the difference between actually both the exams, right? Where the difference lies? So I'll just try to cover it in brief, right? So basically the difference is between in this syllabus. So in the syllabus part, you know that in the JEE, you have both of them. That is, you have both 11th portion and the 12th. So you'll have to study for both. But in the boards, you know that you have for the 12th only, right? In boards. So this is, first of all, the syllabus is different, right? Now, if we talk about the depth, JEE requires more depth, right? So here, we all of us know that JEE requires more depth. And depth in the sense, I'll just give you a very simple example, right? For example, if you would have studied about quadratic equation, complex numbers, in NCERT, it is just finished up in few pages, right? Some basics are given. But on that basis, on those basics, there are many problems that can be made, the application part, right? So JEE is more important in the application part rather than making you just calculate anything, right? It is never the aim of JEE. For example, if you would not be getting questions in JEE which will be which they expect you to fill up pages and then find out the answer. Not at all, right? They just hit on the basics. If you know the basics very well, there is a question which goes beyond 5 or 6 lines in JEE solution. That is, I am talking about the lengthiest questions, right? In general, 99% of the questions. So this is very, very important, and for particularly for those people who are really interested in the field of engineering, science, and research, right? So this is the perfect platform for all of you. So apart from the depth, that is the concept that are required. So we need to study those concepts in depth, right? For example, if in the boards, if we just study the formula, right, then few practice few questions, and also in the boards you have repeated questions, right? You can solve the previous year questions, and then again the same question can come in the boards, and definitely they come in the boards, right? There might be some change in the values, that's it. But in the JEE, you will hardly see any question that is being repeated, right? You must know the concept. The formula alone will not suffice, right? You have to know why that formula, from where that formula has come, how we can derive that formula, what is the logic behind that formula, right? And in what applications that formula is having, right? In what cases and what kind of things that formula can be applied. So all these things are required in the JEE. So it opens up your mind, right? So isn't that interesting? It really opens up your mind. It makes you think, right? It makes you come out of your comfort zone. That is what is required to achieve great heights, right? Not the comfort zone. That is the beauty of the exam itself. Apart from the academics, it is having so many advantages, right? It will really groom your personality as well, how you think and how you perceive the challenges, how you handle the pressure situations. All these things you will be having here, right? In the JEE, you will learn all these things here. So now, again, the time needed, because since the depth of the concept involved are, it is much more in the JEE. So obviously the time needed is more, right? For example, as I have given you one example of 1 or 2 chapters in the boards. So what we can do is basically that chapter might take just 2 or 3 days to finish up for the board level, right? But for the JEE level, you'll have to practice more and more questions, some good questions, some tough questions also, to get that chapter in depth and the completeness, right? That is what is required. So time needed is definitely higher or much more than that. Now, there is a one more question, that is, will my board preparation be affected if I prepare for IIT JEE? Now, let me tell you very frankly, PCM, you will excel in PCM, right? You will definitely excel in PCM if you are preparing for IIT JEE. That is for sure, right? And of course, the English and the other subjects that you are having, right, that you will manage in the school itself, right? So if you talk about the PCM, you will have very, very good concept, great concepts, in fact, in the PCM, right? So you can use it to enhance your answers, which other students won't be doing, right? For example, I'll give you a very simple example of inverse trigonometry, right? In inverse trigonometry, there are so many conditions, that this formula is used when this is the condition, this formula is used when this is the condition. But in boards, you just have to use the formula directly, right? You don't think about the conditions. But in case if you write down that condition in your exam, the examiner will be very, very happy to see that solution, right? And it will also affect him or her in a positive way of giving marks, right? Even if you have a mistake somewhere other in this question, very small mistake, not much, right? That can be ignored. So you will create a very good impression on the examiner if you write down those details, right? And that you can easily do if you are preparing well for PCM. So it definitely helps in the board exam as far as the core subjects are concerned, right? There is no doubt in that. Of course, there is a little bit more thing that is required for boards, that is subjective answer practicing, which you will be practicing through previous year's papers, right? Or there are many books which have sample papers, right? That is the extra thing that will be required for you to do in the PCM. Fine. So this is for the IIT and boards. So don't try to think that IIT will hamper your board preparation. I'm saying as far as the core subjects are concerned, it will not. It will only enhance the thinking ability, and also it will give you some more points, some more insight into that, right? Now, after that, we should understand how we should prepare. That is very, very important, right? Now, understand one simple thing. You can work really, really hard. You can work really, really hard, right? So will that ensure your solution or your selection in the exam? No, it will not, right? Because you should know about the exam which we are preparing for, right? What kind of exam it is, what is the demand of the exam, right? So, and what is the trend, what has been the trend in the exam, right? For example, if I talk about, let's say the IIT JEE main is this year, it was conducted and it was of 300 marks, 100 marks for each subject, right? There were 25 questions, 20 questions straight subjective questions, single answer correct, 5 questions were of the integer type, right? In all the three. So there were 25 questions each in all the subjects. So you should know the exam pattern. You should know what level of questions are asked in main and how it is different from advanced, right? So you should know your exam first, because whatever the thing that you are going to do, you should know about it, right? It should not be like, oh, okay, fine, I have some books, I'll just buy out some books and just keep on studying and start studying that. No, don't do that, right? Because see, nothing is complete, right? If you buy any book, no book is complete, right? You should know what is your syllabus. There are many things which are taught many in many coaching institutions, but that are not relevant to JEE, right? Just to make you understand, okay, fine, this is a tough problem. There are many sort of things, right? First of all, you should know the syllabus. What is inside your syllabus, you should stick to that. That's it, nothing else. ठीक है, हमें कोई PhD नहीं करनी यहाँ पे, वो बाद में होगा. We just have to ensure that we have to score maximum in the exam. Your score should be maximum, right? This should be your target. So first thing is, you should know your syllabus. You should pick up, go to the website, right, and just download the syllabus, and you just see to it. It is in line with the CBSE pattern, right? There are all the topics that are in the CBSE for 11th and 12th, they are in JEE, right? Now you will see that you just have to build up more concepts and more understanding in those, right? That you can easily do. And here, as I said, standard textbooks and study materials are very, very important, right? So as we will interact further with some other faculties also, if we happen to get the time, we'll try to discuss these things as well. What are the standard books for each of the exams, right? And now here, there are different level of books, right? For example, if you are beginning with the preparation and if you're doing the self study, right, then you should buy that particular book. And if you're finished up that level, then you should buy another book so that you get the JEE advanced level very well, right? Because if you try to see the difference between IIT main and IIT advanced, is basically IIT advanced is more focused on the application part and more deeper understanding, right? So that is the difference between both the exams, and they require both different approaches, both the exams, right? In first of the exam, speed is little more important, and the second one, you need to have better understanding of the concepts, far more better understanding of the concept than JEE main, right? So there is a slight difference between both the exams. So study materials are very important, and there is textbooks, right? These are very, very important for you to prepare. Self study is the key, right? So you might be going somewhere in the coachings, right? Or you might in future, right? For example, some of you may join in 12th, or some of you might join late in 11th, right? Some of you might not join. In all the cases, self-study is very, very important, right? Nothing can ensure your solution but the self-study, right? The extra, the all the other things, right? Whatever you're going to college or the coaching institutions and all the other things, they will make you understand, they'll provide you the right guidance, right? And also basic things that you should do, but you have to do it, right? Not them, actually. So again, we have seen that deeper understanding of the concepts is required. So conceptual clarity is very, very important. आप तब तक पीछा मत छोड़ो उसका, जो भी आप कंसेप्ट पढ़ रहे हो ना, आप उसका तब तक पीछा मत छोड़ो when you feel कि I have very much the conceptual clarity is very, very high, right? For example, you have very crystal clarity on the concept, whatever you are having. Try to ask questions uh, uh, from yourself only, right? Because if you talk about any of the topic, what can be other things, what can be the other conditions in that topic, right? All these things, try to answer, try to ask questions, try to answer yourself. Then you will know that whether that concept is clear to you or not, right? You'll have to do varied question, variety of questions to understand whether the concept is clear to you or not, right? And do not try to jump straight away to very tough problems. Never do that. Never do that, right? Finish up the NCRT first thing, then try to solve some level one problems which all of you might be having, or the textbooks, right? The objective questions or the study materials that you are having. Then move on to some tough problems, right? Do not straight away go to the tough problems. Never do that. That will not ensure a very good or conceptual clarity on that particular subject. Give time, right? Give time to that thing. अगर आप ये सोचो कि मैं आज ही बैठूं और आज ही मैं कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर खत्म कर लूं, तो दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल, राइट? इफ यू आर स्टडिंग इट फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम, दैट विल not be possible for sure, right? Give time to that. So if you do that, that is very, very important, and that will really help you, right? Now again, interlinking of different concepts. J is very fond of mixing the concepts, right? It will ask a question from parabola, it will mix circle in that, it will also introduce the straight lines, right? Whatever thing that it can. So that is very, very important. You have to link the concepts, right? Now study in a disciplined way. This we will be discussing in a detail. What is the meaning of this studying in a disciplined way, and what is the importance of that? That is, this thing is very, very important, right? So just wait for this thing to come, and this is also very interesting. Now again, the right guidance. So this is very, very important, right? The right guidance, because if that is not right, so if the path that you are taking to solve the problems, you will not know where your level is, right? धोखा नहीं देना है अपने आप को, ठीक है? बहुत इजी क्वेश्चंस करके खुश नहीं होना है हमें. यू शुड नो व्हाट इज एक्चुअली रिक्वायर्ड एंड व्हाट यू आर एक्चुअली डूइंग, ठीक है? मतलब ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि इफ समबडी इज सेइंग कि अरे बहुत अच्छा कर लिया यार, ये बहुत इजी क्वेश्चन के लिए बहुत सारा तारीफ हो रही है, ध्यान ही नहीं देना उस तरफ, ठीक है? बिकॉज यू हैव लॉट मोर थिंग्स टू डू, and you have to make your level up. You should know where your level is first of all, right? You should test that, and that will be coming to the exams, of course. Now as we are discussing about the importance of the discipline study, this is very, very important, right? And very interesting also. Now I'll just take this, I do it with 1% rule, and that rule is basically, now that will do wonders, right? If you try to improve, I'm just putting up a hypothetical situation, right? If you just try to have, let us say, our level at this point of time, right? Our level at this point of time, we are marking it as 1. Fine. Our level at this point of time is 1 on the present day that we are saying, right? Now, if we try to improve, by 1%, for example, then the next day, so all of us know that 1% is 1 by 100, right? Now you add this. This is 0.01. So this becomes 1.01, right? Now, again, if I'm not even talking about the cumulative 1%, right? Not 1% of this again, 1% of the first day itself, right? Not even of this. So again, you will be adding 0.01 to your level, right? What I'm saying is, if your level here at this point of time is just by this scale, right? This is a hypothetical scale, and you are trying to improve 1% every day, right? If you're trying to improve 1% every day and you do it for 365 days, so this is a year, right? So when you do it for 365 days, you will be getting at the end, you are something, as far as I know, it will be around 37.7, right? So from 1, if you're keep on improving to 0.01 times, right? That is 1 by 100, actually 1 by 100, which is 1% of your current capability, right? So in the entire year, you will be 37.7 times of what you are today. Can you imagine this difference, right? This is huge. When you are at this level, at level 1, right? And if you just improve 1% on daily basis, if you strive hard to achieve that, just 1% of the improvement, right? You will be 37.7 times of what you are now, right? So this is a hypothetical scale, but I hope you are understanding this point, right? How much improvement you can make. So this is the importance of the disciplined study. You have to do it on a regular basis, right? From day to day. You should know that right now, today I have learned this thing new. Now the next day I'll also try to improve. This you will have to keep on doing for 365 days and see the amount of improvement, right? It is huge. Now, we tend to ignore all these things. These are very small things, but they create a big difference. And why big difference? You can see yourself, right? Now, again, there is another example. If you are at this level 1 today on this scale, and if you deteriorate by this 1%, now let us see what happens, right? So 0.99 and so on. So if you will keep on doing this for 365 days, you will be around 0.023 or 24, right? I don't know exactly, but it will be coming out around 0.02 something, right? You are finished. Understand this. And there is a very slight difference. You won't be able to judge this, right? Because there is a very slight difference. A very slight difference below will lead you here, which is of course nowhere, right? And a very slight difference on a positive note, it will lead you here. Now see the difference. Now this is basically very, very important, right? Understand these things and try to follow it in your own daily routine. Fine? Because see, ऐसा कोई जादू नहीं हो जाएगा कि एक दिन में हम बहुत ज्यादा कर लिया, मेरा कोई आईक्यू बहुत ज्यादा है तो ही मैं आईआईटी जेईई क्लियर कर पाऊंगा या अदर नीट एग्जाम क्लियर कर पाऊंगा, ऐसा बिल्कुल भी नहीं होता है. All the students, even the student who has secured the first rank, he is following these schedules, right? Improving on day by day. अगर मान लो कि आज मैं आईआईटी जेईई लेवल के 5 क्वेश्चन करता हूं पर डे, इट शुड इम्प्रूव. 2 महीने बाद इम्प्रूव होना चाहिए, ठीक है? ऐसा नहीं कि 2 महीने बाद में मैं 5 क्वेश्चन कर रहा हूं. सो इफ देयर इज नो इम्प्रूवमेंट, देन you will be stuck at that place only, right? In these time or whatever time you are having, you have to improve, right? Now basically the point is, I hope I am able to make this point very, very clear, right? That is, you just keep on improving on day-to-day basis and you will see huge improvement in yourself, right? Now there are very challenges and mistakes that all of us face, right? I have also faced the same thing which you might be facing, right at this point of time. Distractions, बहुत सारे डिस्ट्रैक्शंस है हमारे पास, ठीक है? इंटरनेट है सबसे बड़ा. हम यूट्यूब खोलते हैं तो यूट्यूब खोल के हम कहां से कहां पहुंच जाते हैं हमें खुद पता नहीं चलता. हम एक अच्छे मोटिव के साथ यूट्यूब खोलते हैं, ठीक है? ओके फाइन, लेट अस ट्राई टू let us say that you have chosen some topic and you want to study it from the YouTube. Fine, you have typed that topic and you are studying that. Somewhere there will some ad that will be popped up and there will something else, right? You'll just try to keep it. Okay fine, I'll just keep it for 2 or 3 minutes. I'll just watch this out. You'll go and keep on doing that, and after that you will realize कि यार ये तो 2-3 घंटे बर्बाद हो गए मेरे, है ना? ऐसा होता होगा, सबके साथ होता है ये. तो दीज आर वेरी मेजर डिस्ट्रैक्शंस। और बहुत सारी चीजें कि जैसे आज वेब सीरीज है, बहुत सारे लोग वेब सीरीज देख रहे हैं, ऐसा नहीं कि नहीं देखना चाहिए, बट आपके पास एक लिमिटेड चीजें होनी चाहिए। आपके पास ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि अच्छा आप देखिए जा रहे हो, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट सम टाइम इन अ वीक एंड देन वॉच इट फॉर सम टाइम, राइट? It should be in a restricted way, right? You should have to follow all these things. Of course, there will be pressure. If you are preparing really well and if you're really serious for the examination, there will definitely be a pressure on you, right? And pressure will peer pressure will be there. Might be family pressure for some of you, right? कि you might be feeling यार अगर सिलेक्शन नहीं हुआ तो क्या होगा, ठीक है? उसका सिलेक्शन तो हो रहा है, उसके तो बहुत अच्छे मार्क्स आ रहे हैं, मेरे मार्क्स नहीं आ पा रहे हैं ना, फेलियर इन एग्जाम्स, कि मार्क्स हुआ कोचिंग के अंदर 100 मार्क्स का मेरे सिर्फ 10 ही आए, तो इसमें तो मैं कुछ भी नहीं कर पाऊंगा। ऑल दीज थिंग्स यू विल फेस, you will definitely face all these things. Everyone faces these things, right? And the major challenge will be the time management. You will try to think यार फिजिक्स पढ़ूं, केमिस्ट्री पढ़ूं, मैथ्स पढ़ूं, या स्कूल का पढ़ूं या कोचिंग का पढ़ूं, वहां अलग से एग्जाम हो रहा है, यहाँ पे अलग से एग्जाम हो रहा है ना? All these things there will be there, so you'll have to find out a right way. टाइम मैनेजमेंट बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, राइट? हैप्पैजार्ड वे में प्रिपरेशन नहीं करनी है आपको। ट्राई टू स्टिक टू, फॉर एग्जांपल, if I give you one way of doing it, do 2 subjects in a day, PCM, फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री करो, उसके बाद केमिस्ट्री मैथ्स करो, एंड रोटेट दीज थिंग्स लाइक दैट ऑन अ डेली बेसिस फॉर द सेल्फ स्टडी। और बिलीव मी, ये जो चीज है ना, एवरीवन इज फेसिंग देम, नॉट ओनली यू, सो डोंट वरी अबाउट दिस। फेल इन एग्जाम्स ये बहुत बार होता है। मुझे मतलब अभी भी याद है कि बहुत सारे पेपर में, बहुत सारे टेस्ट में, फॉर almost 20 to 25 days there were 3-4 tests that was going on for a month, right? And I scored very badly in those tests, very very badly. मतलब इतना था, जैसे ही मैंने स्कोर लिखा हुआ है ना, ऐसे ही स्कोर था मेरा। लेकिन आपको प्रिपरेशन छोड़नी नहीं है, यू डोंट हैव टू गिव अप। दिस इज द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट यू शुड नो, नेवर गिव अप। व्हेन यू हैव स्टेप्ड इन द फुट, नेवर गिव अप, नेवर एवर। कुछ नहीं सोचना है कि कोई क्या सोच रहा होगा। एंड सी, जो भी आपकी मिस्टेक्स है ना, उनको अपने पास मत रखो, आप अप्रोच योर टीचर, ठीक है? ही विल और शी विल गाइड यू इन अ राइट वे। अगर आप छुपाओगे ये सोच के कि टीचर क्या सोचेगा, यार मेरे तो 10 ही नंबर आए हैं, वो सोचेगा इसको कुछ नहीं आता, ये कुछ नहीं पढ़ता है, या ये कुछ नहीं पढ़ती है, ऐसा ही होगा ना। ये बहुत सारे लोग सोचते हैं, नहीं सोचना है ऐसा। कुछ नहीं छुपाना है टीचर से। तुमको नहीं आता है, तुम्हारे मार्क्स खराब आ रहे हैं, अप्रोच योर टीचर, discuss those things, you will definitely find out the way, which is what I did, right? And you will definitely get the solution for that. And the most common mistake is choosing too many books, right? क्या होता है कि हम जेई की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं और हमें ऐसा लगता है कि इसके लिए तो कुछ रॉकेट साइंस चाहिए होगा और इसके लिए बहुत ही सारी जैसी चीजें चाहिए होगी जो मतलब वर्ल्ड में अवेलेबल ही नहीं है। मतलब सारी बुक्स लेके आके हम रख लेते हैं, सबका स्टडी मटेरियल मंगा लेंगे। बहुत सारे कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं, आई वोंट टेक द नेम, तो सबका स्टडी मटेरियल मंगा लिया। एक चैप्टर हमने स्टार्ट किया, 2 लाइन वहां से पढ़ी, 2 लाइन वहां से पढ़ी, फिर 1 लाइन वहां पे बुक में रेफर कर ली, ठीक है? कभी कभी ये पता है किसी बुक में डेफिनेशन कुछ और दी हुई है, गलत भी दी हुई है, तो यू विल गेट कंफ्यूज्ड। और इतना सारा कंफ्यूजन लेना ही नहीं, ठीक है? स्टिक टू सम few standard books and the study material wherever you are studying and wherever you are about to study, right? Not more than that. Follow everything that is being said to you in your by your teacher, right? उनसे अप्रोच करो, try to think and try to follow them, जो भी वो कहते हैं। चूजिंग टू मेनी बुक्स विल डीरेल योर प्रिपरेशन, ठीक है? यही चीजें हैं, यही मिस्टेक्स हैं कि आप प्रिपेयर जेई के लिए भी नहीं कर पाओगे और फिर आप सीबीएसई के लिए भी प्रिपेयर नहीं रहोगे। तो बाद में क्या होगा कि आप सीबीएसई भी मार्क्स नहीं आए और जेई में तो वैसे ही नहीं आए, ठीक है? तो दीज मिस्टेक्स विल लैंड यू नोवेयर, ठीक है? रेफरिंग सबसे बिगेस्ट मिस्टेक, मतलब दिस इज द ब्लंडर दैट मोस्ट ऑफ अस आर कमिटिंग दीज डेज, रेफरिंग टू द सॉल्यूशंस ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस टाइम एंड अगेन। सबको पता है, देयर आर सो मेनी एप्स, ठीक है? आपके पास कोई भी क्वेश्चन है, just click the pic, post it on the internet, you'll get the solution, right? That will not help you anyway, बिल्कुल हेल्प नहीं करेगा आपको वो। अगर आप ऐसे ही क्वेश्चन कर रहे हो तो दैट विल गिव यू सूडो फेलिंग, अरे मैंने ये क्वेश्चन कर लिया, जितना टफ क्वेश्चन था मैंने कर लिया, पर थोड़ी सी तो हिंट ली मैंने। आई डू अंडरस्टैंड दिस पॉइंट। बिल्कुल नहीं करना है ऐसा। अगर आप ऐसा कर रहे हो, यू हैव स्टॉप्ड लर्निंग। देखना ही नहीं है, ट्राई टू डू इट योरसेल्फ। होगा कैसे नहीं क्वेश्चन, ये मुझे ये बताओ, सिंपल चीज, सारे क्वेश्चन होने के लिए बने हैं। अगर आपसे 5 मिनट या 10 मिनट में नहीं हो रहा तो आधे घंटे में होगा, 1 घंटे में होगा। ऐसा हर क्वेश्चन में नहीं होगा, मैं नहीं कह रहा कि आप हर क्वेश्चन के लिए 1 घंटा लगाओ, बट दिस विल नॉट बी हैपनिंग इन मोस्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस, राइट? कुछ ही क्वेश्चन ऐसे होंगे जिसमें बहुत टाइम आपको लग जाएगा, एंड दे डिजर्व दैट टाइम इफ यू आर डूइंग देम फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम, राइट? अगर आप वो खुद क्वेश्चन कर लोगे विदाउट इवन हेल्प फ्रॉम सिंगल पर्सन और सिंगल सोर्स, तो दैट विल रियली बूस्ट योर कॉन्फिडेंस। तब आपको लगेगा कि अच्छा, आई कैन हैंडल न्यू क्वेश्चंस and I can solve the question in the examination, new questions in the JEE. So that is very important. Backlog, ठीक है, स्कूल का काम हो रहा है, इसका हो रहा है, बैकलॉग्स बहुत सारे हो रहे हैं, उस चैप्टर की मेरी वो शीट कंप्लीट नहीं हुई है, मेरा वो पैकेज कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ है, वो मॉड्यूल मेरा कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ है, दूसरा चैप्टर स्टार्ट हो गया, प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन। ये इसलिए होता है कि आप क्या करते हो कि अच्छा आज नहीं पढ़ते यार, कल पढ़ लेते हैं, ठीक है, 2 घंटे की तो बात है, हाँ 2 घंटे में कल कवर कर लूंगा, मैं कल रात को 2 घंटे 3 घंटे एक्स्ट्रा जग जाऊंगा, मैं पढ़ लूंगा उसको। नेवर डू दैट। वो 3 घंटे और वो सब चीज कभी नहीं आता है, कभी भी नहीं आता है वो चीज। अगर आपको करना है आज करो, काम खत्म करना है उसको खत्म करके सो। यू शुड हैव, ऐसा नहीं करना आपको कि मेरे को टारगेट होना चाहिए 8 घंटे पढ़ने का, नहीं। आप काम ये करो कि मेरे को ये काम खत्म करना है, आई हैव टू फिनिश अप दोस 50 क्वेश्चंस ऑफ दैट शीट ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर चैप्टर। सो अगर वो नहीं कंप्लीट हुई है तो मत सो, करके कंप्लीट उसको सो, राइट। तो आपको खुद पता रहेगा कि अच्छा आई हैव टू सॉल्व दिस इन द लिमिटेड टाइम, और टाइम सेट करके करोगे सो दैट विल रियली हेल्प यू इन द एग्जाम। एग्जाम में क्या होता है, पेपर ही पूरा नहीं हो रहा बच्चों का। क्यों नहीं हो रहा? क्योंकि घर पे आप इतना टाइम लेके बहुत आराम से मौज मस्ती में क्वेश्चन कर रहे हो, एक क्वेश्चन किया, अच्छा घूमने फिर लिए, फिर दूसरा क्वेश्चन किया, तो दैट विल नॉट हेल्प, ठीक है। तो आपको टाइम सेट के करके करना है। और लास्ट जो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, नेवर सेलिब्रेट टू अर्ली। होता क्या है कि हमने ना, जैसे क्या हुआ कि एक एग्जाम हुआ, एग्जाम होने के बाद व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि मेरे फुल मार्क्स आ गए, ठीक, क्लास में मैंने टॉप कर दिया, चलो अच्छा है। दूसरा एग्जाम हुआ, उसमें भी मैंने टॉप किया, क्लास में, कोचिंग में, हर जगह एकदम पूरा एकदम फोड़ पाट रहे हैं हम लोग। फिर क्या होता है कि कुछ टाइम के बाद 2 3 4 5 एग्जाम ऐसे चले जाएं, कभी कभी किसी बच्चे में तो एक एग्जाम में ऐसा हो जाता है, पर 4 5 एग्जाम के बाद क्या होता है कि यू ट्राई टू थिंक कि यार अब तो मुझे सब आता है, आई कैन हैंडल एवरीथिंग, ठीक है। मतलब वो जो ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस जब डेवलप हो जाएगा ना, कि अब तुम सोचते हो कि मेरा तो अब जेई में होना ही होना है, आई शुड रिलैक्स, ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं करना है कभी भी। नेवर सेलिब्रेट टू अर्ली। जब तक आपका लिस्ट के अंदर नाम नहीं आ जाएगा ना, तब तक आपको चैन से नहीं बैठना है। ये चीज आप सोच लो और ये चीज समझ लो। इफ यू आर रियली प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर दिस एग्जाम, तो जब तक आपका नाम नहीं आ जाए ना, कि ये नाम है, दिस इज द रोल नंबर, यू हैव बीन सिलेक्टेड, यू हैव दिस परसेंटाइल और यू हैव दिस मच ऑफ रैंक, तब तक आपको चुपचाप नहीं बैठना है, ठीक है। अगर आपने उसके पहले, एग्जाम देने से पहले, अगर आप, इफ यू आर कॉम्प्लिसेंट इन द प्रिपरेशन फॉर अ कंसिडरेबल अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम, दैट विल रियली कॉस्ट यू। बिल्कुल भी नहीं करना है, आपको सोचना ही नहीं, यू हैव टू कीप ऑन प्रिपेयरिंग। ये खुशी मनाने का टाइम आपको बीच में, ठीक है, यू फील हैप्पी फॉर सम टाइम, लेकिन उसमें उस खुशी में ऐसा नहीं कि यू जस्ट स्टार्ट ड्रीमिंग, अच्छा मैंने आईआईटी कॉलेज जाऊंगा तो मैं ये करूंगा, मैं ऐसा होगा तो मैं वैसा करूंगा, उसमें टाइम वेस्ट कर दोगे आप लोग, है ना। 2 एग्जाम अच्छे देके आप सोचोगे कि बस हो गया मेरा जेई क्लियर, ऐसा नहीं करना है, ठीक है। नेवर सेलिब्रेट टू अर्ली, नेवर एवर। जैसे नॉट ओनली इन जेई, लाइफ में कोई भी चीज है ना, उसमें आपको कभी ऐसा काम करना ही नहीं, ठीक है। तो देखो, अब सबसे ye challenges and mistakes are very common, so please try to understand. Now, I won't be taking very much of your time. We are just about to finish. तो यहाँ पे देखो, why to invest in so much in coaching, some mentorship में हम क्यों इन्वेस्ट करें, है ना, हम क्यों इन्वेस्ट करें इसमें? तो the problem is that, see, you will definitely get a very good idea about कि कैसे प्रिपरेशन करनी चाहिए, what kind of questions, what level you have to achieve, that will you will be facing in those things, right, which are dedicated for these purposes. Now, the importance of this is basically, just try to see the fee, right? The average fee, if you try to say this is around, we can say about around 9 lakhs for the rest of the ITs also, for the complete, for the entire year, right? Including your hostel charges and everything, right? So for the other categories, it is far less. So we'll just stick to this one. And if you try to see many other colleges, right? I won't name name those colleges, very good colleges of the private colleges, right? Their fees will be almost 1.4 to 1.5 times this, right? Which is considerable amount. For example, if you are spending 9 lakhs in the JEE, in IIT, actually in the IIT college, for your entire 4 years, there you will be spending close to 15 lakhs. And after spending this much money, I will tell you that these are the top 10 colleges in India, right? And the college that you are studying in will be for sure above 40 ranking, right? Because there are NITs also. I'm talking about the private colleges, right? You will spend, on an average, there are also colleges which will be around 12 or 13 lakhs, but I'm just talking about the colleges which are having some sort of reputation. So 15 lakh you will spend on that, on those 4 years. And the rankings also are far, let us say 45, 46, 47, maybe beyond that, right? So you are spending considerable less amount of money here, and you are studying in top colleges in India, right? This is the advantage. Of course, this is one of the advantage, right, in the monetary terms. So better is to spend some here rather than spending some here. And also for the colleges of lower ranks. So I am not saying that they are bad colleges, right? I'm just comparing them with the IITs, right? So why not to spend some time here, right, or some money here to save all of them? And average placement packages, right, they are always higher for IITs, right? For most of the IITs, it is always higher than the rest of the colleges in India. Of course, IIT teaches you the way of life. That is very, very important, right? Very, 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 very important. Because when you are moving on to the IIT and for the first time, right, you'll try to and you'll get to learn many things and many, many things, right? Let me tell you that. Now, again, this is you can get admission into the research colleges, right? Indian Institute of Science, ISC Bangalore, and Dr. K. Sivan, right? How many of you know Dr. K. Sivan, right? Can you raise your hands? How many of you know? Roshni, okay, fine. Let me ask Roshni. Yes, Roshni, can speak. Yes, you can unmute yourself. So just a few of you, right? But once I'll tell you about him, then you will find, okay, fine. Oh, yes, I remember now, right? So basically, he is chairman of ISRO, right? ISR. And he is also alumni of ISC Bangalore. So research colleges are also very, very good. And there are many distinguished alumni of the college, ISC Bangalore, and the other colleges, right? Or the research colleges, which have received awards like the Padam Vibhushan Award, right? Padam Shri Award, right? All those level of awards they have received. So you can just try to think the importance of these also, the research institutions, right? Now, again, this is the new one which has been opened, you can say about 5 or 10, 7 or 8 years back or 10 years back. Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research. There are 7 colleges in India. They are also very good for the research purpose, right? So all these things, apart from the engineering, you can also go for research. This is the importance of this exam. It is giving you very varied options, right, in this field. Now, on the lighter note, I would just like to show you some glimpse about the college that I have studied in, right? Now, this is IIT Guwahati. So now understand and see why won't you try to, why won't you like to study in this kind of college, right? Understand this. So that college had so much amount of beauty. Apart from, of course, you are getting the facilities, you are getting very good faculties, where you are getting very good labs, and also apart from the academics, right? Apart from the academics, you have such a beautiful campus. It is, right? It was a very good campus, and also in the IITs, almost all the IITs are having very good campuses, right? So there is no doubt that you will have a very good life in that, right? And also apart from the academics, you can do sports, right? You can take part in the drama, you can take part in the other curricular activities. There are so many things to do, right? So this is what you can do. Let me show you some more pics just to wind up, right? And then you can ask the doubts or the whatever doubts that you are having, right? You can ask your doubts then. Just a glimpse, nothing else, right? Now this is the auditorium that we were having. So this is so beautiful, right? And these pics have been taken by many people, by me and my friends, and some other pics, right? This is the lake inside the campus itself. So just see the view. So all these things, all these pics, and these are very, very, on all the IITs, you'll find a very good campus to stay, right? You'll have a good life also inside the campus itself. Of course, you'll have a good placement after that, right? So you'll have a very good life after that, right? So now these are the cult fest. This is Mohit Chauhan, and all these nights and the cultural nights will be there, right? These are the IT students. So extracurricular activities, you have a lot of time to do that, right? You definitely will have time to do that. All these things, right? These are the things you can try to think of. This is RDB, the band that you know. Now, this is again one of the very glimpse of the campus, which is very, very beautiful. You can go in the sports. You have very good amount of very good facilities, right? for doing many things, right? You can do participate in the drama, you can do many things, right? So apart from these studies, that is how the IIT teaches you the way of life, right? So now I hope I have been able to clear few things, that why and how you should approach these things, and also the life there in the IITs are very, very, you can see to it. I just shown you the glimpse. When you live it, you will really feel good apart from the academics.